Live coverage presented by Asphalt Racing Network. Of course, sponsored by Decals Paint and Photoshops for all your iRacing paint needs. And of course, Young Headed Collectibles for all the old and new Lionel Action Racing Champions needs on whatnot. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another week here at Nashville this time for a nice race here, sponsored by no one else but Asphalt Racing Network. For the Asphalt Racing Network, Nashville Throwback 180, as these drivers have been working on paints all week. David Callahan to get everything set for the stage here tonight. So most of the paint schemes you're going to see are decals, paint, and photoshops, and if it hasn't persuaded you yet to get a paint scheme from David, tonight might be the night to do so. Of course, as always, my name is Tyler Jones, and we have Mickey, the People's Champ, Papa Stewart up here once again.
Thanks, bud. Glad to be here. Just this would be twice in 1 week, man. We're on a roll. I can't wait to check out the rest of these throwbacks.
Hopefully tonight goes a little bit better than Monday did. No shot in the ribs to them, but it was a crazy race. If you guys haven't seen Monday after tonight, go ahead and go to the channel and look at the American Stock Car Racing League's O'Reilly's series at Talladega. Crazy race. Of course, hopefully we will have another crazy race here for you guys tonight, as it is going to be a long one here at Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smaller track. Not a whole lot of speed to it. You'll see 120, 130 mile an hour. So nothing crazy. I think it's just going to be a little more technical in the corners. If you're on the bottom, try to keep her pinned on the bottom. Don't come up into that high line on accident, because there's probably going to be someone there. And same thing on the outside. If you're riding that outside, keep her to the outside. Keep plenty of space. I can confirm that there are 0 fast repairs tonight. So the league trying to just clean it up a little bit. So 0 fast repairs, short track, long race. I think it's going to get interesting for us, partner.
And of course, a lot of familiar names here tonight. Of course, we have Omar Rodriguez Jr. on the field. Connor Price on the field as well in the 28. Chad Sherlow in the 99. Mark Randall in the 18. Mark Morton in a Mark Martin paint scheme in the 54. Jesse Singleton in the 51. Jeremy Lawson in the 08. Chad O'Leary is here tonight. Ray Pinola, Jeffrey Bourne, Christopher DeWald, which we just is fresh off a truck win now. Will he be able to do it again tonight? David Callahan, the 33 of Blake Sherrow. Of course, DJ Norris, Aaron Wright, Jerry Ward, Tristan Pena, Warren Appelt, Justin Baird, Nolf, Felix, Hudgens, Chase Albright, Ryan Phillips, Nathan McGee, Dean Howard, Taylor Miner, and making their debut here tonight from the American Stock Car Racing League is the number 17 of Dalton Gibson. What a hell of a field.
Yeah, it's a stacked field tonight. Shout out Dalton Gibson for joining right time. Like you said, he's, in the Monday league, so it's awesome. We talk all the time that, these leagues, most of these drivers run a lot of leagues, the same leagues that we cover, so it's fun to see him here on a Wednesday night.
Now, of course, just looking to the points before we get into the race, the man sitting in first place right now, the number 28 of Connor Price. He is in the lead with only one win right now at a very slim margin of 7 points. Sitting in second place right now is Matthew Francis, who is that 7-point differential going to. Now, tonight could be that night. If Francis doesn't show up, Price is going to be able to put up a bigger lead, which means he will fall down pretty hard as Jerry Ward is in third. Only 38 points back from the leader, 31 points behind. Francis sitting in second. Top three, not so far away from each other. Still in spitting distance. One bad race can really make or break. Of course, Jerry is here tonight, so he will advance over Francis if Francis does not show up before the green flag, which will put him closer to Connor, but of course not shooting distance. Of course, in fourth place is Matt Hudgens right now. Hudgens is just 42 points away from the leader and 4 points behind Ward. So that is going to be a close battle. Omar rounding out your top 5 on points right now for DCR. That being only 43 points back from the leader, but only 1 point behind Hudgens in fourth.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well just finish out the top 10 real quick. In sixth, you got Jesse Singleton. He's 49 points back from the leader. Tristan Pena in seventh, Mark Morton in eighth. You know, you see those guys. All three of those guys got a win under their belt. So keep an eye on them to move up tonight. Ninth, Jeremy Lawson. And rounding out the top 10th is Christopher Dewald. He's only 61 points back. So not too far spread out, but it's definitely a race or two for some of these drivers if they want to get up to the front of these points. So we don't have a repeat winner in our 6 races yet, but 5 of those 6 winners are in the top 10 of your points, which means you have 5 non-race winners in the top 10. Just going to show that consistency and surviving the race can put you in a great position for points. And then if you ever do get that win, it's going to put you in a really great position.
You know, it's kind of a shocker here. We haven't seen a repeat winner yet, of course, this is, I believe, the only series in every league that ARN covers that has not seen a repeat winner yet, other than, actually, no, I will not lie. I believe the Naris Truck Series does not have a repeat winner either. So, I mean, very rare right now that we have not seen a repeat winner. Of course, in the ARCA cars, that just goes to show these cars are very different on a weekly basis. And not everybody has what it takes to consistently do it back to back.
It's not easy, partner, for sure. So, you know, this ARCA league being a beginner-friendly league, it's kind of crazy to think that we haven't had a repeat winner. A lot of rookie drivers in this league this year. So, shout out all the rookies, and some of these guys are rookies in this league that got a win so far. So, we'll see if we can get our first 2-time winner this year, or we'll see if we can get someone new up there.
Now, of course, grid already formed, so we're going to go ahead and throw that on the screen for you. Christopher DeWald takes the pole position away here tonight. That will be a big game changer for him tonight, as now this is his second pole awarded to him this season. Of course, in second place right now is Connor Price. Third, we have Jesse Singleton with DJ Norris in fourth. Chase Albright rounding out our top 5. Just outside of the top 5, we have... Oh, excuse me. I am looking at it all wrong. Jesse Singleton in third, DJ Norris in fourth. Thaddeus Friel Jr. rounding out the top 5 with Chase Albright just outside in sixth. Tristan Pena in seventh with Chad Leary in eighth. Mark Morton in ninth. And Blake Sherrill rounding out your top 10.
All right, going rapid fire here in 11th, Jerry Ward. 12th, Matt Benke. 13th, Nathan McGee. 14th, Ryan Phillips. 15th, Aaron Wright. 16th, Omar Rodriguez. 17th, Brett Sturkin. 18th, Matt Hudgens. 19th, Mark Randall Jr. And 20th, Dalton Gibson.
Just outside of that top 20 is going to be Jim Felix in 21st. Pinola in 22nd. Baird in 23rd with Bourne on the outside in 24th. Lawson in 25th with Troutman in 26th. Strelou in 27th with Miner in 28th. Callahan sitting in the 29th position with Dean Howard in 30th. The last two cars rounding out your field to make a 32-car field here tonight will be Kevin Nolf in 31st and Warren Uphelt in 32nd. Doesn't seem like those drivers are on the track, so it might be 30 drivers in total here tonight. We're just going to have to figure that out as we are now officially green here for the ARN Throwback Race 180 at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
And we're off. Single file out front. Looks like everyone's trying to be respectful. Like I said, zero fast repairs this evening, so everyone just giving a little bit of space, a little extra break there. Single file up front, 2x2 behind them.
So far, so good early on. A lot of throwback schemes here tonight. Let's just take an opportunity to admire them for a bit. Of course, a good old 28 Havoline throwback scheme. You don't see many of those no more. Get you a good angle to see these cars as we go through them. Of course, DeWald with just a old school Chevrolet 84. We already have a caution out. Looks like Dean Howard and Warren Uphelt going to the rear of the field here. Replay sponsored by Young Hitter Collectibles. 19 came down, hit the 45. It's that old Bodine Tabasco scheme.
It looks like 45 had a heck of a run there on the bottom. The Australian. He looks like he just closed the gap on the bottom on the 19. The 19 just, I don't think he just expected him to be there.
You know, it's something that's going to be very... No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And so you could see him enter the corner, you know, a car length or two back, and by the time they got to the middle of the corner, he was at the door.
One thing I want to point out that is going to be very scary for these drivers here tonight. Looking at the 19 of Howard, when he spun around, they didn't have much time to really make a reaction here. This is going to be very tough for these drivers tonight. Of course, when you're sending it in a corner, you're really not going to be able to lock up all that well. But look how fast the leaders approached onto the 19 and the 45 with just maybe 5 to 10 seconds of being down on the on the bottom of the infield. Leaders already behind. So make one mistake tonight, and you're practically a lap down within seconds.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of lap traffic this evening. It's just the name of the league. It's just how it works. Some of these guys, like Connor Price, are just so dominant on these smaller tracks, more technical tracks. And, you know, some of these guys in the rear of the field just trying to run laps, trying to gain respect out on the track. And, you know, a couple of them are rookies. So just trying to keep the wheels underneath their car and just try to finish the race. If you're a couple laps down, it's not a big deal. Just, again, got to get to the second half in order to finish the race.
That's going to be the trickiest amount of time right now, is really having to manage, knowing what it's going to take for you to be able to last. Like you said, a lot of lap traffic is going to be in the way tonight, and that's kind of going to be inevitable. The longer we get these green flag runs, the more this pack is going to get spread out. You're going to be able to see who has the speed, who can conserve tires and keep that speed, and who's going to burn up their tires pretty early and put themselves in a chase situation, shall I say. So, I mean, it's going to be very difficult for a few of these drivers to circumnavigate the track and kind of do what they need to do to gain position. It's really going to be a pacing game here tonight. You can't win it on the first lap, and hopefully these drivers understand that as well, as now we're back to green. The Veterans United restart zone at lap 9 out of 180.
You can see that restart zone kind of still in the corner of turn 4. So you're restarting on a curve. If you're at the tail of the line, like we were just talking, you're back in turn 3 when the green flag drops. So kudos to these guys 2 times in a row. Good clean restarts. because it can be tough to start running through them gears in the middle of the turn.
Oh yeah, especially, and the thing about it is you're anticipating that green flag. You kind of know another wreck on the field is what it looks like. 35 of Banky, 88 of Baird involved. Looks like Dean Howard in another one. Banky swinging that car around. Obviously not too happy with a Kyle Busch inspired throwback scheme there.
Love a good Snickers.
Man, they were the best schemes. I honestly wish they'd come back to NASCAR. Now, of course, looking at the wreck here, 35 just came down on the 92. They kind of recovered it. Unfortunate, it just didn't happen all the way. Banky spins out in the middle of the track. 88 of Baird goes flying. We already have an airborne count of 1 tonight. I need to put that in the bottom left corner of the screen. It's just a text, airborne count. You know what? I'm going to do that right now. We're going to do that right now. Give me a second while I go ahead and set this up.
Watching that replay to me, you know, the 88's kind of in the middle high line, coming out of that corner, and it just happened so quick. You can't see the back stretch while you're in the middle of the corner. And then there was traffic in front of him that darted, and then bam, the 35 of Banky was just sitting right there. And same thing for the 45, just coming around the high side. All that momentum got caught up in it again as well. So, again, no fast repairs, so some of these guys got some work to do. I do expect some more cautions, so don't give up yet, because I promise you there's some positions to be had. You see it getting it around the track. At least no front end on that thing. Good news is aerodynamic isn't a huge factor here, as you can see him down on the apron getting ready to head into pit lane to fix some of that damage. You can see the tough pit entry, just a hole in the wall. You got to be down the speed before you cross that yellow cone you see back there on the screen.
Well, we officially have an airborne counter on the bottom left-hand side of your screen now.
Can we get a sponsor for that? I know the perfect person to sponsor it.
Brianna Laurent? Brianna, if you're in chat, tell Matt to make you a logo so we can slap one on top of it.
You know, but shout out Brianna. You know, you guys hear us talk about that because she's a good joker, man. So she's all fun and games, and you know, she gets a chance, she'll say something in chat and play along with us. So shout out Bree, keep up the good work.
Now, of course, back green and the Veterans United restart zone for the T. Elliot right time ARCA series. Almost went another 9 laps. Well, actually, not really. It was about 5 laps. We're about 9 laps from the first caution finishing now. The biggest question is how long is it going to take? I mean, very short track, asphalt track. Concrete tracks make differences. You know, the drivers, some drivers, they say there really is no difference between asphalt and concrete for them. Of course, a lot of other times you can see the difference between the mixture on the pavement for that track, just on handling and just on riding, you know, their lines and the corners and having to maneuver these entries. I mean, bumpy, a very bumpy track is what it seems like, especially in 1 and 2. You just saw those cars bouncing away. Go to the gyro cam, you can really see the bounce. It is not an even track, especially on the low side.
Yeah, and for those that aren't too familiar with iRacing at home watching us tonight, you know, iRacing scans these tracks with 3D scanners, you know, some really high-tech stuff. So these bumps that you're seeing are bumps in real life that real-life drivers deal with as well. So, you know, keep that in mind. That's really cool. to see that, like how these tracks race and all these bumps and the lines and everything are right where they would be in real life. And yeah, it's not easy to hold that wheel and stay in line or not come down off them bumps when you're trying to hold that wheel down towards the inside of that corner.
Let's go to the inside right now. We're looking at Morton driving the Martin paint scheme. See, the wheel is a little fidgety, especially in the corners. I mean, you can see just in the cars in front of them how much bouncing is going on. And that also adds another scary level to it. You don't know if the car in front of you is breaking loose because it's bouncing so hard. You don't know if they're actually hitting their brakes or if they're fighting the car because of the bouncing. So that's also something these drivers are going to have to pay attention to the longer stages of the race go on, due to the simple fact that they're going to have to get comfortable with, okay, if you run this line, you're going to bounce about 3 or 4 times before this part of the corner. So this is how I know that he's not breaking loose. This is how he's just driving the line. But, you know, like you said, LiDAR scan tracks exclusively for iRacing. These are not hand-built tracks. They are not hand-adjusted tracks. These are the correct depths, the correct bankings, the correct pavements, the formula. Everything is there. They like down to, I think it, what do they say? Like literally millimeters, like 0.1 millimeters. So almost every bump and nook and cranny and wall hit and scuff, and it is literally 1-to-1 as if you would drive your own car on Nashville Fairgrounds. So, you know, it does hurt a lot of times having to go to some of these tracks where they are bumpier than most. I mean, Daytona especially has gotten bumpy over the years. Atlanta, you know, everybody's been screaming for a repave for a long time due to that. I mean, look at Chicagoland, same situation there. The track got really bad, and it kind of had to get closed down, get repaved. You know, when do you possibly see that for the fairgrounds? I mean, it's got to be coming soon.
Yeah, I don't know how the rotation works, but I know they've been working hard. I know there's a couple tracks that you know, people in forums have talked about that are coming up. I can't think of any right now, but you know, they go back and they rescan and stuff, and they have a schedule that they do. But yeah, it'd be cool to get this track rescanned for sure.
One track we need scanned is Bowman, man. It's the only track we're missing. We have the LA Coliseum, which was a one-off, but we do not have Bowman. Man, this 28 on a warpath, currently in third, now having to fight Morton to get up to DeWald. DeWald off a fresh win in the 42 machine on dirt. He has shown his hand.
You say you could see him definitely pulling away from second there. You wonder about tires. He got through lap traffic pretty decent in this league. You know, if you're a lap car, you're welcome to race hard. Just try to be really careful, because if you make contact with any of these lead cars, they're not going to be happy with you. But in this league, you can fight as a lap car, because every position counts, every lap counts. And you can see where the 84 got past him smoothly, and the second place of Morton did not, kind of open that gap to over a second now for second place.
Literally just about at a second now. Morton brings down a few thousandths of a second. And Morton bet me that I was going to slip up saying Mark Morton running a Mark Martin paint scheme. So now every time we talk about Morton, I got to say Martin, because now I got to prove him wrong. So the 54 of Morton in a Martin Viagra scheme, sitting in second, just teetering at about 9/10 to a full second. Right now, seems like DeWald is on that warpath to hold the lead strong. But how long is it going to last? I mean, we've seen him do pretty good so far with sizable fields. I mean, right now he's trying to make a whole bouquet of flowers just out of a few rose petals. Pretty early on, shall I say. Lap 35 out of 180. There is no stage breaks. Of course, it's arca. It's an endurance. So it's going to be 180 laps straight. The only breaks that these drivers are going to get are cautions. And I mean, top 5 right now really hasn't moved much. I mean, honestly, the entire field hasn't moved much. We don't have anybody in double digits in net gain, only net loss. I mean, looking at those on the left-hand side of the screen on the tower, DeWald has not left from his qualifying position right now. Morton up 7, Price down 1. DJ Norris still where he started in 4th. Albright now getting passed by Pena and gets it right back. And takes it again. So and gets it right back. Okay, so there seems to be a big fight right now between these two. So let's go ahead and follow this. 5th place right now. Tristan Pena fighting Albright for 6. We've just seen 3 lead changes in literally 2 corners with the good old Biff throwback scheme.
Yeah. Morton 8th in points, Pena in 7th in points right now. So both of them would love to get up to the front of here. Way they can stay in front of DeWald in points as he's sitting in 10th. You know, between the last couple weeks and some of the races at the beginning of this year, Christopher DeWald has definitely shown that he's a driver to beat. He seems to find himself up front all the time. So 1 race win here in ARCA. He got 1 in trucks last week, so he's going to be tough to beat. Like you said, no big position changes, but I do expect as we get into 25 laps on this green flag run here, that the tires might start changing, so you might start seeing some position changes as well.
That's really going to be the name of the game, consistency. I mean, even at this point in the season right now, we don't have much time left before the end of the regular season. So, I mean, it's going to be difficult for a lot of drivers still trying to make their way back in. I mean, for some, it's kind of a little too late to make it on points. You're going to have to hopefully get that win or kind of just solidify a comfortable spot for yourself and, you know, not really hold back. I mean, you don't want to hold back into the playoffs, but you also don't want to show your cards too early. You know, you might think you have a straight flush and someone's got the royal. So it's, you know, it's going to be a challenging time for a lot of these drivers. One that's challenging enough so far for the night, the 33 of Blake Sharrow, who is already out. He is in pit road and is now joining us with the headset for the rest of the night.
Hey guys, as much as I love being in the booth with you guys, I'm not happy that I'm here. Very frustrated. I'm being cool-headed though as best I can. Just frustrating when you practice hard and you got a nice little car, and it just some other mistake, kind of ruins your night early.
And we've seen some of these cars smack the outside wall on exit. And that starts to add up. So it's not just necessarily getting caught up in wrecks. There's a lot of things that can happen. You can see all the lack of room on the bottom of the track towards that inside wall as well. So when you're diving to miss a wreck, the walls are close. And like I've said, we've seen them hit the outside of the wall a few times. Those hits start to add up.
So, big difference maker here tonight, too, as ARCA has officially dropped the fast repair in hopes to clean up the racing. Of course, you can't please every man and women. 45 getting loose there. Around again on the inside wall. Should be a caution that time by Warren Appelt. Still in the middle of the track. No caution thrown. Oh, regaining the track. 35 of Banky catches him from behind. That is exactly why the caution should have been thrown out.
Yeah, it's a tough one, partner. We talk about single car accidents, and whether they should bring out the caution flag or not. We've seen there that that's what happens sometimes if we don't. So I'm sure race control will take a double look at that and learn from those mistakes. That's no big deal. But we did see where our lap traffic, first time our lap traffic has become an issue, and you can see the 84 to wall was battling for Mark Morton there for the lead, and just 84 just had nowhere to go, didn't want to give up the position, and ended up making contact there with the 45.
Yeah, that was a tough one coming around right there. I'd like to, my pettiness wants to say that I'm not mad about it, but it is still unfortunate when you don't have a quick repair. But yeah, apparently the 35, when he went up into me, his pedals glitched out or something. They disconnected, and that kind of messed with him. But like I said, I'm gonna keep kind words tonight in the booth. So just unfortunate.
Do we count that as airborne, guys? I mean, we have the airborne counter, but I don't think all 4 tires came off the ground.
Well, let's check.
Where's the right rear suspension? There we go. That's the cab we need. Well, we need, no. The right rear came off. We need the front. There it is. Yep, that is airborne. Airborne count number 2. There was slight.
Put it up.
There was slight air. 2 airbornes already. Wasn't as crazy as the first one, but we'll take it. And we're going to run with it.
And those of you joined us a little later, if you take a look at the bottom left of your screen, you will see we have an official airborne counter live on the screen right now.
Now, of course, with this caution, Morton's going to go to your lead in the Mark Martin paint scheme. I don't know how many times we're going to have to say this for the rest of the night to prove my point. It's not going to trip me up. Might trip y'all up, but it ain't tripping me up. Connor Price in second, Pena now in third. Albright Norris going to round out your top 5. And see, kind of going back to what I was saying about, a pelt spinning around and the caution not being out. I mean, of course, any situation is a learning situation, but at such a small track like this, being Nashville Fairgrounds, it's, I would have expected a one car wreck to have that immediate caution get thrown out. I mean, you don't have that time to recover. Nor do you really have that apron to. I mean, some will say, well, he could have, banged the wheel all the way to the left and just tapped her once hard in first gear, and, it would have spun the car around comfortably, but at the same point in time, you still would have drifted up the track in somebody else's lane. So, it's that catch 50-50. Like I was saying earlier, you can't please everybody, even with the, like I was saying with the fast repair count. So it's difficult decisions that have to be made. Restart zone activated. Green flag out now. Drivers not even caught up to the pack.
This is the real first short track we've had in quite a while, and you can just see how big of a difference it is from the front of the line to the back of the line, and how hard it is to get caught up if you do a pit stop under caution or have damage to repair under caution. So a lot more strategy to that to try and stay on the lead lap today.
See, I mean, and they've had pretty easy rolling so far. I mean, we started off with Daytona, went to Atlanta, old Atlanta, so they didn't have 2 restrictor plates back to back. Coda, then IRP. I mean, Dover and Darlington, and then of course Eldora. Now here at Nashville, 2 short tracks back to back. Is next week they're gonna have to go to Bristol, and then we're gonna round off the regular season. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is the trucks schedule I'm looking at, and no one corrects me on that. Love you guys. Love you
Sorry,
guys.
pal. I'm in a bummer mood, man. I'm trying to get the energy back up.
So the correct schedule was Daytona, then Rockingham, then we went to Lime Rock. I should have known when I said Coda. Then of course IRP, Dover, Las Vegas, and then Nashville. Then of course we go to Pocono next week, followed up by Richmond. I mean, not many difficult tracks on this schedule, and you know, I feel like this might be the toughest track they're gonna have to deal with this season.
It doesn't look easy, that's for sure. If you watch Mark Morton, though, he might make it look easy for us. I promise you, it's not as easy as he makes it look.
Yeah, it's definitely not as easy, guys.
That wreck right there was caused by just a solo spin out, which then caught two other cars, Matt Hudgens and Ryan Phillips. Hudgens getting the worst of it, or excuse me, Phillips getting the worst of it as he made direct contact with the nose head on of Friel.
Good to see Thaddeus Friel back out on the track. With his schedule, we don't get to see him all too often, so it's good to see the 8 out there.
Yeah, he's running an old senior paint scheme too tonight, ain't he? Oh, I think he might be already done for the night.
He might be. You're starting to see the big difference in that fast repair. So hopefully these drivers kind of understand the responsibility of no fast repairs, not only for themselves, but for those around them.
Now, of course, some people are going to complain. Some people are going to like it as we are green this time back in the Veterans United restart zone. Flagman waving that arm. But of course, like I was saying, you know, a lot of people aren't going to like it. Some are going to hate it. And, you know, that's just the name of the game. Of course, you're going to have to deal with that first race to kind of, you know, break the habit. The more these guys keep wrecking, the smaller the field gets. The easier it's going to get. As the 5th caution again is already out on the field. Matt Banky involved in 3 now. As it seems like that time he was in a crash.
Tough night for the 35 so far. It looks like the 84 got loose or contact in front of him, and he was kind of letting out or braking to avoid it and got loose himself. So tough night so far for the 35.
Yeah, it looks like 84 came down on the 4 and it slowed things up and ended up getting Binky. Ended up hitting the back of the 4 car. Like I said, it's very unfortunate. It's just one of those nights. Back to what you were saying, Tyler, about the quick repair. I'm one of those that, even though I just got taken out, I still rather have the quick repair. It's just more realistic racing. It teaches patience, not for everybody, I guess, but I feel like it will clean up the race, hopefully, because once these guys try to push things too hard or, you know, stuff like that, they're really going to see their night end early. So even though I'm a victim of it, I still fight to have no quick repair.
Well, I mean, and then that's the part of racing, man. You know, even though we are open to beginner friendly, you know, we have a lot of A-class drivers in here. I mean, almost our top 10 is filled with A-class drivers, and that's a hard feat to get to. Even if you're in the low 2000s with a low I rating, you know, it's still a hard feat to even get to A. So, you know, as we are beginner friendly, I mean, the only D class that would technically be running these cars and officials would be the 88 of Justin Baird. And you know, it's kind of something that, you know, has to be learned. These cars are not forgiving. They do not care if you want to bump somebody. They don't care if you're off-centered by half a millimeter. You're going to spin. The wrecks are going to be consistent. And, you know, with the fast repair, it kind of only leads to more wrecking. So, you know, hopefully it's going to take time. It's not going to be within tonight. We're probably going to see it for the next 3 weeks. Of course, it'll probably start slowing down less and less over the weeks, but of course, you know, we're also going to have the arguments that that could be what tracks we're at as well. So, you know, the biggest research and development is practically in the middle of being done now, and hopefully we'll see that over the next few weeks as we are back green now. Lap 66. We have not gotten a long run for these drivers to be able to have a green flag pit stop yet. But of course, drivers still using pit roads when needed.
We got Mark Morton up front, Connor Price right behind him, DJ Norris. We've seen this a few times. Mark Morton gets out front, puts some space in there, and he's able to take it all the way to the finish. So keep an eye on the 54 to put some space here until he starts to get some lap traffic. But this is all too familiar.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Morton always puts up a good race. I mean, I'm interested to see what Norris does as well. I don't believe Norris raced with us 2 weeks ago. So I'm really curious to see where he ends up, because he's been fighting for, you know, the win at the end of these races a lot this season, and I like to see him get a win out.
Another wreck again. 78 spun, caution flag immediately thrown that time. That is the 78 of Aaron Wright with another field blocker in the middle of the track. Seems like we had a few separate incidences as Warren seems to have possibly spun out first.
It looks like Binky's back on the track as well from the pits. I'm surprised his car's still hanging in there after all the beating that's taken this first 62 laps.
There was a situation where Wright, he made contact with a pelt. As the pelt was sitting on the bottom side, he just dove it in just a little bit too deep. Made contact with his car, spinning him around, putting him with Dalton in the 17. And everybody else practically able to maneuver it as the caution was fully out at that point in time, so.
Yeah, it looked like the 45 of a pelt was going to pit road, missed it, got himself loose, and then the banking on that turn, he was on the rear bumper, so his tires weren't on the track and just couldn't get out of the way. Traffic in front of the 78 just dives out of the way, and just 78 just had no time to react.
That's really going to be a tough night for these drivers, man. It's from what we've seen so far, already 6 cautions. And then, of course, lap traffic not going to help, as the more damage these guys accrue, the longer it's going to take. And you got to think, there's no way anybody else other than Banky right now has been able to take all of their damage. It's just going to be a difficult decision. Do you stay in pits? Do you go all those laps down? Do you stay out? Do you try to get as much damage off as possible? I mean, you know, looking at a regular track here, I mean, we would have technically, you know, about maybe 30 to 40 seconds. This being such a short track, you don't have that time, so it's not like you can take the EOL, go into the closed pits, and get as much off before you get lapped and go back out and go back in with a regular pit cycle. You're not going to gain anything. So you really have to sit here and take 2-3 minutes and go 10-15 laps down just to kind of try to bounce back from everything. Back green that time in the Veterans United restart zone. We're going to let the camera bounce around through the drivers in different areas of the track. We already have another wreck on the field. Caution number 7. Rodriguez Jr., Troutman, and Gibson.
it's rough start. You can definitely tell that ARCA cars didn't race last week. Seems like everybody's not really warmed up and in their groove just yet. So hopefully they'll, with the no quick repair, the guys that are struggling on this track, they won't, you know, cause any more cautions later on, at least in the second half of the race. But we'll see.
Just another tough one of a high-low, and then stuff stacking up behind them. This is where I'd like to see just a little more space. You know, if you're on the bottom, stay a little more to the bottom. If you're on the top, stay a little more to the top. You know, and if you're on the bottom, you know, give that guy up top plenty of space. It's still early. Wait till things kind of spread out, then go make your move.
Nah, no leaders going in this time right now.
We look at some of our leaders between like Morton and Pena and Price. You know, not only are they good because they can go fast, but they're able to go fast and save those tires. So, you know, even though they're up front, they're not wasting their tires. They know how to save them, and so they'll wait as long as they can to pit. Less pit stops, the better for them.
Of course, my biggest question is how many laps are we going to drive before we can get a green flag run for over 10 laps?
We had a little over 20 some or 25 and some change earlier. I bet you they could do it again.
Let's hope and pray.
Now, of course, pace car in again, and we are back green in the Veterans United restart zone. Morton enjoying the lead he has with Mark Martin Viagra paint scheme here. And guess that little blue pill got a pep in his step right now.
Oh, there goes a 47.
His game.
47 spun out. I haven't seen anything about a caution yet.
And bounced off the inside wall, able to save it, so they keep it green.
Yeah, that was a good way to keep up.
Yeah, he did a great job. Going back to Morton and the Viagra, it's definitely a favorite. I don't know about you guys, but I was like 10 or 12 when he was running that, so that was just hilarious back then.
Yeah.
What a way to date yourself.
You call me Grandpa every time we start now.
No, I call you Papa. I don't call you Grandpa. And there's another wreck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad one. Phillips and right.
Oh, yeah, it looks like 78 went very low and hit the 76 car. That's I'm not sure what happened there, if he started to spin out or what. But yeah, he went 2 lanes down and took out the 76 on that one. So.
I don't know. I don't know if that one can go on the counter or not.
No, I definitely can't go on the counter. 8 cautions already within 84 laps. I mean, now the average normally used to be from 5 and up, you're good, but it's about 2.5 now, and you know, I would say top 2 are going to be avoiding a lot of these wrecks tonight. But I mean, 84 laps, 8 cautions, we're averaging about 10.5 laps per caution. 10.5 laps before the next caution comes out. So I mean, a lot of the driving here tonight going to be done under pace laps, and it's not something you want to see. I mean, we've already paced 31 laps out of 85. Now, of course, back green in the Veterans United restart zone at lap 87. There's already a fight for the lead right now. 2 drivers who were teammates on Saturday, that being Morton and Pena, fighting it out for position number 1. This time crossed the line, makes it 87 more laps to go. It has been crazy hectic so far for a lot of these drivers, and when will it end at this point in time is their question. How much longer will we have to keep pacing? Of course, we'll figure that out. Right now, we're going to go to the first commercial break of the night for our Twitch premium subscribers. You will see picture-in-picture. For everybody else, we will be back in just 3 minutes. Don't go nowhere.
Dave in victory lane.
The after-jets are low. Don't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
What a victory this will be. Next flag is going to hit. Does he have enough? Let's go. A dominant performance. They're going to say no, baby. Let's go.
You gotta earn this thing.
It is all on the table.
2. And we are back here from commercial. So far, so good. I think it's getting to that point, guys.
Yeah, we're starting to see them a little spread out, a little more single file, more cautious. They're safer passing. So good little green flag run here. And knock on the desk or no commentator curse.
I mean, Morton's still currently in the lead. 51 and Pena in second. Price in third. And Norris running out fourth with Gibson in fifth place. And
There's the spin out. You didn't knock on the desk hard enough, Nikki.
I'm going to argue that was long enough.
yeah, that was way after the fact. Chase Albright, first car in this wreck.
Looks to me like 49 came in a little hot, had to hit the brake, and then really lost a lot of momentum trying to save that car, and the 51 just wasn't able to swerve or brake in time and just happened to make contact there, and just everything kind of stacked up. 99 making contact, 19, 84, and the 88. And the 92 Omar also being involved in that one.
We got some new leaders as well. Morton and the gang, they ended up hitting the pit stall, so we got a new leader out here. Ryan Phillips in the 76 car, and then Mark Randall right behind him. And oh, never mind. There goes Ryan Phillips. He's going to the pits as well. So Mark Randall will be your new leader with Aaron right behind him. Well, I take that back. It looks like they're lap cars, so they will be coming back.
You know, I was going to correct you on that, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to count down the time to wait for him to realize.
Yeah, I was like, hold on a second. I've seen Aaron in about 4X. Let me.
I mean, he took third time, so you know, it's a charm apparently.
And looking at some of these lap cars, no one's just one lap down at the moment, but there's a couple 2s, a couple 3s, a couple 5s. So getting a lap back here could be crucial for some of these drivers to move up a couple positions. You know, there's good possibility for some more cautions, especially as we come down to the closing moments of this race. So every lap could be positioned. So look for some of these guys to stay out like they did, get their lap back, and then hit pit road next time by.
I mean, hopefully the damage isn't too far done for a lot of drivers, you know, here tonight. A lot of heavy hitters have already been taken out. Some still in at this point in time, but you got to wonder how much more time do they have taking above their heads before their vehicle or somebody else's vehicle is once again involved in another race-ending caution.
We got only about 12 cars on the lead lap at this time, which we said at the beginning of this race, a lot of lap traffic tonight.
Now, of course, pace car in back green this time in Veterans United restart zone. Mark Morton in the lead. Pena in second right now. DJ Norris in third. Price and DeWald rounding out your top 5.
Go ahead and finish out the top 10 here with 6th place, the 02 McGee. 7th is DeWald making his way back up there. 8th is the 89 Award. 9th, 94 Sturkin. And 10th, number 51, Jesse Singleton.
Lap 115 out of 180, and it's going to take a while to get this race finished. If we can't get some of those green laps in. Now, I mean, it doesn't take too long. It's about 18 seconds to get around the track, so we're killing multiple laps per minute. But of course, you know, when it comes down to having to pace, that adds another about good 10-15 seconds. So instead of 20-second times, you're running about 27 to 32 second times.
Yeah, those caution laps and pace laps, it really stretches out a race. It goes from an hour and 20-minute race to a 3-hour race. And I know you've experienced all of it, Tyler.
Including a 24-hour Le Mans challenge. Oh, no, not Le Mans, Daytona challenge. Boy, oh boy. Pena still having to fight for Morden.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time, like Blake said earlier, if Pena's trying to pass them or if they're just trying to put some space between them and the 4 other cars here in this lead group. So there he goes on the inside trying to make a move, but he slides up. So it's hard to tell if he's trying to pass him, but it looks like he might be trying to.
Yeah, that first group's really separating themselves. Nathan McGee and the 02 car, he is currently sitting in 7th, and he is about a quarter lap behind. They're about a quarter turn behind, and that first group is really digging in good and staying a group and leaving everybody else in the dust. So I'm sure they would hope for it to stay green a little bit longer, but we shall see.
And then we've seen the 50 get on the inside of the 54, and we've seen just how much that can slow them down and allow DJ Norris and Connor Price and these guys to catch up to him. So now you're less than a car length between each car from 1st to 6th.
Yeah, I mean, in these situations, like we was talking about earlier, like you kind of want to just the top 2. If you're in 2nd place, you don't, you just want to keep a fast line and just keep separating from the rest of the pack. Because if not, if you're trying to make moves and you have to slow down, that just gives more opportunity for the guys right behind you to catch back up. So you go from racing 1 guy to racing 4. So it'll shake out. I'm excited to see these last, and when we get to the last 5-10 laps, I'm excited to see what moves happens in the front.
Now, of course, like you said, those last 5-10 laps are going to be even trickier than what we've already seen so far here tonight. Thankfully, and I don't say this to be, that person, but thankfully the faster pairs have been really weeding out the cracks. Unfortunate for a lot of drivers that are going to be involved in that. You being included in that, you had nothing to do with as to why you're not racing right now, but for those that have had high incident points consistently, going from their joined race up until today, it's going to make a difference for them. Now they know they don't have much time left. They don't have an opportunity to really mess up and get back on the track and shoot for a win. So, you know, we can only hope it's going to clean it up from here. We can only hope it's going to be cleaner for the rest of the night. But I mean, at this point in time in the season, drivers really at the point going towards, you know, a championship, and I don't feel like there's so much commitment right now to a championship due to the fact it's still a little early. But I mean, when do you really start breaking that boundary and you know what I'm saying? You turn to that point where it's all eyes on that championship. I mean, of course, a lot of time left to do it, but it has to be now starting to be a thought in the front of their mind instead of the back.
I would agree. You're kind of shifting from just being consistent, and if you have a chance for the, you know, the points like you said, then you know you're kind of shifting to, okay, how can we not only be consistent but actually be a little better? So you know, a little bit of practice throughout the week. You know, work on your strategy, talking to your teammates. So I would agree, now's the time to start thinking about that opportunity if you are in the running for points position here at the end.
Now we're doing pretty good right here. Currently on lap 133. Morton's still holding the lead right now. He's been holding the lead for a decent amount of time so far. Check to see how many laps he's got. 90 laps in the lead. Pena still a sitting duck in second. None for him. DJ Norris in third. Has not ran laps yet. Gibson in fourth. And of course, DeWald with 23 laps.
You know, I want to give a shout out to that 17 and Dalton Gibson right time racing sim racing league debut. Finds himself in the top 5, proving that he belongs and he can contend in this league.
Looks like Norris is taking a push right now on Martin Morton. He's getting that inside line, and it seems like it's working. They got him past Pena just a little bit, and he's going to try to make the move and lead some laps.
Yeah, hard into the wall. You can see those drivers driving a little more aggressively. As you can see, some of the other drivers starting to make their moves, so they start pushing their cars. And we talked earlier, slamming that outside wall like that, it can hurt the car.
No, it does kind of slow you down, though, when it comes to times, and that is a big no-no, especially at a small track like the Fairgrounds here in Nashville. I mean, you know, it's going to cost you a lot of time, not only to the car in front, but it's going to cost you a lot of gap time to the car behind, and if that car is for position, you know, it could really negatively impact you for a few laps, if not until a caution, you know, is thrown due to the fact that you're going to have some right side damage. Your toe could be knocked out. You know, a slew of different opportunities that can really happen to you. So, yes, where the wall is beneficial for the block, you know, to track like this, it can be very detrimental.
And you can see this, how quickly that shook things up. The 82 at Norris, now more than a second lead on the 50 at Pena. And you've seen the lap traffic come into play. Norris was able to squeeze through quite easily. The 54 Mark Morton got hung up in the lap traffic, finds himself back in the 3rd position now. So,
Well, there goes
and
Morton.
Now Morton's sideways in turn 2.
There goes the caution. Wow. That's, man, it's as soon as you could have such a good groove, you had the front grip doing so well, you know, racing back and forth, but very clean. We did see him hit the wall a little bit, but that's going to happen, especially if you're in the front of that group and you start looking in your rear view, you see a lot of people coming up. It might make you, you know, freak out a little bit, but man, when it comes to a group like that staying close together, and then you add the lap traffic that are at a slower pace, that's where it gets really tricky. And that's why we've seen that wreck happen. And we got a lot of guys pitting now too. So
Oh, my mic was muted. Aaron Wright involved in it that time. Jesse Singleton, Rodriguez Jr. I mean, a lot of drivers. Once again, they've had their number called already once before. 78 looks like he just had a little bit too much contact with the 54, and that caused Morton to go around. And as Morton, you gotta wonder, what's his head at? Where is his head at right now, especially after getting wrecked out by the 78?
He's going to be frustrated for sure. He's led well more than half the laps we've ran. He's already passed half as many laps as in the race, so he proves that he's the car to beat tonight and the driver to beat. Started getting caught in that lap traffic, which I'm sure probably started the frustration there. So tough break for the 54, but you can't hang your head. You proved that you got a good car, you're quick. Now you just got to fight back and put yourself back in position.
yeah, that's just very unfortunate for the 54. Watching the replay, 78 got behind the 54, and 17 of the Dalton came up and hit his rear, and kind of at a bad spot too, right at the breaking point of going into the turn, and it spun Mark around. So hopefully not too much damage. He can get back in there. There's a lot of lap, I believe there's only 9 on the lead lap right now. So he can still get in there, get his car fixed, stay on the lead lap if the damage isn't too crucial. But we will see.
It's getting tough, guys. Green flag back out now. The Veterans United restart zone. Kristen Pena now in the lead here at the Asphalt Racing Network Throwback Race 180 at Nashville Fairgrounds. While they're trying to get comfortable with this restart, we're going to take another commercial break. For all our Twitch Premium, you will see picture-in-picture. For those who are not, you have a Prime sub. If you have Amazon Prime, 1 free sub a month, you can use it, and it will cut out that commercial break if you use it while we're in the break. Just come out, go out, come back in, and you will see it. But we will be back in just about 3 minutes.
victory lane.
The after jets are lit. Don't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
What a victory this will be. Next flag is going to hit. Does he have enough? Let's go. A dominant performance. They're going to say no, baby. Let's go.
You got to earn this thing.
It is all on the table.
Now, of course, back from commercial break. Now only 21 more laps to go. As it has been some of a what am I trying to say? As it has been somewhat of a hectic night for a lot of drivers. Of course, no fast repairs here tonight, and it has definitely made a difference with the drivers who have wrecked out and the drivers who are still here, who are going to be able to finish. Of course, right now, Tristan Pena still in the lead. Dalton Gibson sitting in second with his debut, holding on pretty strong right now. Christopher DeWalt in third. DJ Norris in fourth, and running out your top five is going to be the 28 of Connor Price.
Kind of giving a point shakedown as we come to the winding moments here. Pena leading the race, 7th in points. 17th debut. The 84 DeWald is at 10th, definitely making push to move up a couple positions. Price, your points leader, riding 5th. Morton, 8th in points. So then you only got 9 guys on the lead lap with Jesse Singleton in 10th, 2 laps down in 6th position in points. So possibly a bit of a shakeup at the end of this race.
I mean, shake up for sure. The only way it's going to go awry for the 50 is if he makes a personal move that negatively impacts him, or if another caution comes out. But, I mean, even with the cautions coming out, he seems like he has the speed to still be able to drive away comfortably and confidently. So, as of right now, it truthfully seems like it's going to be the 50s wrapped up with a bow. Now, of course, really can't hold Gibson down and out. We've seen what he could do on Mondays. Now we're seeing what he can do in the ARCA cars. And, you know, at a difficult track like this, with him still being accounted for on the racetrack right now, on the racing surface, you know, this might give a pretty good precursor of what we're going to see from him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's fun to see him on a non-super speedway. You know, the Monday league being the super speedway league, so it's fun to see him on the short track as he smacks the wall there. But he's proven that, in my opinion, he's proven that he can race these short tracks and contend. So I also love the fact that we're adding some competition to the top of this league. You know, give Pena and Mark Morton and some of these guys a run for their money, and he's proven it right now, standing in second position.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It is weird seeing this man going around these huge track super speedways, and now we kind of it not only debuts, you know, for right time, but for us in the broadcast, because he debuts in the short track. And right now he's doing one hell of a job. So kudos to him for, you know, starting out with a bang. Hopefully he can finish it out and stay in, you know, the podium spot, and hopefully we'll be able to interview this guy later. That's the number 17. I'm rooting for him to try to pull something out, get a win, or, you know, stay in the top 3. It'd be nice, a little welcoming gift for him is to see us in the booth in his first race at right time.
Now looking, we have 9 laps left to go. The distance between Pena and Gibson is about a good 4 seconds. So Pena really has drove away with this one right now, and seems to be another comfortable win if he can hold on. for the next 7 laps of racing.
Oh, there's the caution.
Well, there it is.
Oh,
And there it goes.
that Connor Price is on 2 wheels.
Looks like he could get an oil change out the driver's window of that other car.
Matt Banky involved in another one, too.
I'd like to take a look at the 81 here because I believe the 81 goes down to the apron and stays there and gets caught up there. You can see Connor doing this the side 2 wheels.
Can we count that as airborne?
I don't know, that's tough. I'd like to, but I don't think technically.
Let's just keep it at a fair even 2. That's a first. I've seen some crazy things here. I've seen Brianna almost go above a catch fence. Dylan Picklesimmer gets stuck in a safety wall. I've seen cars do multiple barrel rolls and just skid about a half a mile on their roof and hood. But I've never seen a car play Monster Jam on a NASCAR track.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen that one. But I will say, unfortunately, that was the 28 of Connor Price. Your points leader was running in the top 5. Now, looking at least 1 lap down. I'm guessing probably more. So definitely some of these drivers are going to close that gap up to your points leader, Connor Price.
I mean, really wasn't even much of a gap anyway. About 38 to about 42 points, roughly, between your top 3 drivers.
Here we go. See what Pena can do. See if he can hold it off. Good restart too.
Back green, Veterans United restart. Green, white checkered activated now with 2 more laps to go. It has been a tough one here for the throwback weekend. White flag lap now, presented by Randall Graphics. 1 more lap to go. Dalton Gibson not too far back. This is what we were talking about. This could be the restart he needs. Don't think it's going to happen, though. Tristan Pena in the lead, going out of 3 and 4, coming to the straightaway. Gibson not able to make the run. And Tristan Pena wins it here again tonight.
And there we had it. We talked before the race. We haven't had a 2-time winner in this series. Tristan Pena, you're first.
That is the second time Tristan has done this week. What a time to kick me out of the sim, man. Really? He wins the race and it kicks me out of the sim. Fantastic.
It seems like a setup, partner.
That is definitely a setup, and due to the fact that they just finished the race, I'm not going to be able to join back. This is something I've never encountered before.
Yeah, it's a tough break.
Bear with us for a second. I'm going to have to get a backup setup so we have something on the screen for you guys, and it's not just going to be a black screen. Great finish indeed, too, as it has been it's been a hell of a race. Not only for the winner, but for everybody really involved. And I mean, looking back at the race now, it's going to be a difficult one to have to maneuver when we come back here, if we come back here next season, as we haven't had many short tracks like this. It is not wanting to cooperate with me. All right, we're just going to have to do it the old school way, guys. Apologize about it. It's been very difficult today. So we are going to have to go old school.
Little inside look at what the broadcast booth goes through up here. Shout out T-Bone, man. That
Difficult.
program looked it looked crazy.
Very difficult. Very difficult. Unfortunate. I'm gonna have to see if I can work half of it on my phone and the rest up here. So
I can drag if you want me to.
we could do that. That would actually work a little bit better. Of course, Tristan Pena winning the race here tonight. Top three, we're gonna have interviews with.
We'll give DJ Norris a few moments here. I don't see him, but we might just end up with our top two. We'll give him a moment to get out of his car here.
I'm gonna write a strongly worded letter to iRacing because this is the fourth time I've been kicked out of a sim. This was the worst time for it to happen to.
All right, looks like DJ Norris has went to his trailer. So I do want to give out a shout out to the 82 for a good finish. Sitting 20th in points, so getting a podium is definitely going to move him up the board. So shout out 82 on a third place finish. But we will go ahead and start our driver's interview with our second place finisher in his right time debut, the 17 of Dalton Gibson. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, loud and clear, buddy.
Congratulations on your second place finish. What was your thoughts coming into this race? I know you're familiar with some of these guys in the Monday league that you run in. So, what was your thoughts coming into this race, and what were your expectations?
Yeah. Well, first off, thank y'all for having me. But yeah, this is unfamiliar territory. But this is home track for me. Grew up watching races here, and now live 15 minutes from the track. So a lot of seat time here, and just eyes on the track. Felt like it kind of worked in my favor tonight. I thought that it was going to be a lot harder, especially starting back in, I think it was like 19th or 20th. But it was a fun race.
Yeah, congrats on your top two, man. It's good to see you in this league. Congrats again on your debut. So, speaking of this track, man, how does it feel? You know, when we watch you in the booth, it's usually at Talladega or Daytona, the big boys. You know, how does it feel to come in here on your debut, a small track, a very tough track, and get you a podium finish?
Oh man, it was a lot of fun. I've been kind of restricted based off of my schedule recently, and been wanting to run a couple different leagues because I know that Daytona and Talladega is fun, but obviously not getting to the race like full ovals like I would want to, other nights of the week. Um, I mean, man, it was so much fun, and like I said, first race at a place I'm so familiar with is really good confidence booster, I would say. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun night all together. Thought that we were gonna be in some trouble with about 100 to go. Um, Obviously, kind of a racing deal with me getting hooked. It ended up kind of playing to my favor. I ended up getting some fresh tires and getting to charge back through the field. That was probably my favorite part of the race.
Now, of course, man, we've seen you do pretty good here tonight. I feel like this was one of the toughest tracks to have to really deal with for your first race here for the Arcas in right time. Sorry, I'm all over the place trying to make sure everything looks good and we have some type of consistency going. But do you kind of feel like this is a really good start for you here? I mean, second place finish with not having any experience around a majority of these guys, and you started 18 places down from where you started 18 places down from where you finished, and I mean we still have a lot of weeks left. So how are you feeling about the rest of the season here for you?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a fun season, and I don't know if I'm gonna be in it for points. I will be here for the majority of these weeks, but I'm just hunting trophies at this point because I mean this is something I don't get to do regularly, and obviously with some of the competition here, it's pretty stout. And props to Tristan, ran a heck of a race. Um, Man, he was on rails. I asked him once we got into the waiting room, man, what are you doing different? Because it's like I've seen this track. I've put in hundreds, if not thousands, of laps here in sim. Um, Not in the ARCA car, but more so short track stuff. And he's just regular short track stuff. And I'm like, well, I mean, hey, if it works for him, I tried to emulate it as best I could and make it stick. But obviously with some of these guys, I think that I didn't. rub too many feathers, and if I did, I'm gonna go ahead and publicly apologize. Obviously, short track racing, but if it was something where I got into somebody, I would try and let them have the position back if I could. Um, and then there was instances where we were coming up on live traffic that it got really really hairy, especially fighting for position. So I mean, all in all, it was a great night. But yeah, looking forward. I think Pocono next week, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not real sure.
Let me check right now. I have to do everything on my phone right now since
All good.
While
iRacing
he's
said
checking that,
screw you.
I
We
got
are at Pocono. We are at Pocono
Pocono.
next week.
I
That's
got one
another one
more.
that another one that I haven't ran, but yeah, looking forward to it. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna try and do my best here, and hopefully make a few more friends.
I got one more for you, Dalton, in honor of the Asphalt Racing Network Throwback Race 180. What's the inspiration on your throwback this week?
Obviously, I feel like it's pretty notorious. Probably one of the most dominant paint schemes in NASCAR history, especially the run that Jeff Gordon had early in his career. But shout out to my favorite driver, man. I love Jeff Gordon, watching him growing up. Try and be as clean and as respectful as I can be too. But yeah, now I've always been a fan of Jeff, man, and yeah, I look up to the guy. He's probably top 10 people in my mind. But uh yeah, that's kind of the inspiration to it. And yeah, I tried to emulate it the best I could. I actually did this one myself, so
Yeah, I never would have guessed he was one of your favorites.
that's fair. I mean, I don't get to show it off a lot too in the paints. I usually try and stay custom, but I was with Matt last night, and he was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be throwback," and I was like, "Well, I actually got this paint that I made a while back that I only got to ran once, so just threw on some banners, some contingencies, and off we went."
Yeah, man, it looks good. Like if a lot of times you want your car to look good, but it also does. It makes it even better when you race good in that car. And once again, dude, congrats on your debut finish. Well deserved, and we'll definitely look forward to watching you again next week.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys, and hopefully we can make this a regular thing. More so on Mondays because I'm tired of this Daniel guy, man. I know I'm teammates with him, but he talks to y'all way too often. He's got to share the room.
Of course, good race out here tonight for your debut, man, and hopefully we're not talking to you more just on Wednesdays, but we'll have a few more opportunities to talk to you on Monday, hopefully in Victory Lane as well.
Yeah, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for broadcasting again, man. You always do a great job, and hopefully when I watch this one back, it'll be just as entertaining, if not more. I feel like a lot of short tracks are going to provide a little bit more action throughout. So
Now, of course, man, as always, for your first time, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody before we let you go?
yeah, absolutely. Thank y'all again for broadcasting, you, Mickey, and Blake, aka Charles. I don't know necessarily what to call you yet,
Blake.
but okay. I just want to make sure. Don't want to get you pissed off at me for
Are you good?
no reason. um, but appreciate what you guys do, especially helping us out with Mondays and not whatnot. And also thank you for welcoming me with open arms here. But yeah, shout out to Matt and DJ, who I was running with in Sandcastle. I'm probably going to be running the rest of this season with them. But yeah, just thank you those guys. Thank you to all the fans watching at home. Thank you for my wife for letting me do this on another night of the week, where she hopefully doesn't kill me after this. But yeah, thank you to the friends and family tuning in at home as well.
All right, buddy. You take care.
All right, thanks, Mickey. Thanks, Jay.
That was
All
our
right,
second place finisher.
Well,
And here goes the man that I cannot escape.
how you doing?
Hey, Tristan, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good.
Well, you have not only claimed the first person to hit consecutive wins in Naris, you have now done it in right time. Few weeks have spread between your wins, but it did seem pretty evident here early on that you had a dominant car. Unfortunate Morton got wrecked out early on, as it would have been a crazy fight for you two at the finish. But with that, did you feel about the race here tonight?
Felt like obviously every race, we got to work on things. Everyone has to work on things, including myself. I shouldn't put myself in a position to start in the very back. Definitely make it easier for myself, but no, I gotta go and be aggressive and do stupid things, and I put myself in the back because of EOLs and penalties. So I gotta stop doing that. Um, gotta stop making it harder on myself to win these dang things. But no, it was a great race overall. I was trying to stay really patient here because I knew I was if I hit my marks every lap, I think I knew I could have won this race, and I just stayed consistent the entire race, and it was definitely crazy at some points. I was definitely not happy whenever the caution came out with two to go, but I mean overall it was a really solid race. I'm really happy how it turned out. And I don't know what's next week, but I mean I really like a lot of these tracks. Pocono, ooh, that's a tough one for me. I'm not the best at Pocono, but I'll have to work through it, and I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, Tristan, congrats, man. You did really good. And the funny thing about it is you put yourself in terrible situations, but it seems like it doesn't matter. you know, whether you start in the back, the front, the middle, you always put yourself in the position to win. And this is your fifth start in ARCA, and you've got five top fives, and you're the first duplicate winner in ARCA. So, like I said, once again, congrats. And let me pick your brain about Pocono. Why do you not feel confident about Pocono next week?
It's a really aero dependent track, which I'm not great at. Um, I think I'm not sure what my lowest finish is, but I think it was at a very aero dependent track. I think it was Rockingham. I could be wrong. No, let me go through them. I think it was Vegas. I don't know. Very, very successful season so far. So I mean, and just trying to track all this is but that was a pretty aero dependent track. I feel like the backstretch is gonna really mess things up because people are gonna be able to pull you from like 4 or 3 cars back because of the draft. But I mean,
Hmm.
there's just things you gotta work through. I mean, whole bunch of different tracks, whole bunch of different types of racing, short tracks, super speedways, intermediates, all of it. You have to be good and consistent in all the tracks to be able to compete for a championship. And but I mean, I think that one's gonna be definitely my worst track. But we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty excited for all the races this year, and I'm super excited to see how this year closes out.
Speaking of championship and points, looking at the updated points here, it looks like you jumped up 4 positions and now tied for third, 42 points behind the leader of Connor Price. You got 2 wins, 5 top 5s, or excuse me, 3 top 5s on top of that. What is Tristan's opinion is pre-race preparation look like in order for you to be consistent week in and week out?
I know what I need to do. I put that in my mind. I set a goal for myself, whether it's just finish the race to win the race. I mean, it's just you just have to set those goals, and they have to be realistic. Because if they're not, then you're gonna always disappoint yourself. But I mean, you just have to set realistic goals for yourself. Whether it doesn't matter what skill level you are, from the best of the best guys in NASCAR to obviously us racing on our in our homes and all that. Um, but no, you just have to set realistic goals, and either if it's just finishing the race, finishing on the lead lap, finishing top 10, top 5, winning. I mean, whatever your skill set is, I mean, it's just you just have to set realistic goals for yourself. I mean, that's what I do. I try to do that every race, including in the real car. So I mean, that's just really my pre-race, I guess, strategy. But I mean, I also just try to have fun as much as I can, because if I'm not having fun, then I definitely won't be doing it.
Now, of course, man, with this second win out of the way, being the first one to get 2 wins on the season, how are you feeling about your opportunities now to possibly claim another one before we wrap up season 2?
I mean, I think Martinsville, Richmond, I'm good. Oh, USA International. I really love short tracks. They're my bread and butter, as I'm pretty sure I've said a couple times, but they're my bread and butter. I really love those tracks. But I mean, Talladega's a toss up. I mean, anyone could win that. I mean, um, Phoenix, I'm pretty good there. Texas, that's my home track. So I mean, I'm pretty excited to hopefully show out or wreck there. I mean, but I don't know. We'll see. Very aero dependent tracks here in the latter half of the season. It looks like. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and I'm just excited to try to see if I can contend for a championship here.
Last one from me. Just going back to the race tonight. There, towards the late middle of this race, you were in second place behind Mark Morton. It was really fun calling and watching that battle. What was your intention? Were you trying to pass him at one point? You did pull up door to door underneath him, but he was able to get back in front of you. Were you pushing the limits there? Were you worried about your tires?
There, when I was battling with him, he was doing a really good job to hold the top side there. I mean, um, he was just, I mean, and that's really like the place to pass, because if they're holding the top side, they'll just drive back around you once you get under them, especially when the tires get worn in. Um, it's just it was really fun. I was definitely pushing it. You probably saw me and him bounce doors a little bit, touch there. I mean, I wasn't trying to move him because there was still quite a bit of time left in the race, but as the laps dwindled down and a little bit more urgency started to build, and I tried to get around him a little bit faster. But I mean, he was putting up a great fight. I mean, he's a great driver. He's a really good driver. He's a really good driver. Um, but no, he was making it really difficult for me to get around him. So I was happy to get around him whenever I could, whenever I did. Excuse me.
Now, how did the car feel for you here tonight? I mean, ARCA cars are normally inherently loose, and this track was not probably the most comfortable with a lot of lap traffic around. Probably felt a little bit hard to maneuver there. Of course, really can't make any adjustments at all. So, how did the car feel from you for start to finish?
Um, at the start, I was just struggling to get around people because I started like I think dead last, if not second to last. But I mean, so I was just trying to carve through the field there, and the first caution came out. I think I was in like 15th or so. Um, almost got in that first caution. I mean, that was crazy. I'm surprised. I'm happy I missed it. But after that, I was able to definitely really put the pedal to the metal and get around the cars that I was faster. That I was faster than them, and you know, um, the car felt really good after that. I mean, I was just getting into a rhythm, trying to get into a rhythm. There was definitely quite a bit of cautions there, midway through the race, and so I was just trying to get into a rhythm. Once I got into a rhythm, I was able to get around the top three cars, and always on those restarts, I started third. The fourth place car drives around me on the top side, and then I get back around him, and then the caution comes out. So I mean that was a little bit annoying, but once I got around the second place car, I was able to just hang with Mark there that entire run, and I don't know what happened. I don't know why he fell back. I can't remember. I can't recall. But I mean, um, with me taking the lead there, I was just smooth sailing. I just hitting my marks every single lap. I mean, um, I'd like to say I'm a pretty consistent driver. So I mean, it was just I mean, this track is definitely bumpy and abrasive, so you have to take care of your tires, but not too hard. You can run it pretty hard almost the entire run there. But I mean, whenever that 2 laps to go or restart, I was definitely sweating bullets there. I was very frustrated that the caution came out, but I mean, nothing I can do. So I just tried to take off in the restart as best I could, and I was able to drive away and able to secure the win. So overall, really great race. Didn't get myself into too much trouble, and pretty happy. Yeah, I'm extremely happy with how tonight turned out.
Well, of course, man, congrats on the first place finish. Before we let you go, you know we're going to ask you if you have any shout outs you'd like to give.
My mom and dad, and I'm thankful that they're letting me do this, especially because we have to go leave to North Carolina tomorrow. I'm gonna be racing at Caraway in the Pro Late Models in the car store. So I'm thankful for them letting me stay up and race with you guys. I really appreciate you hosting and all you guys.
Appreciate you, Win.
Thank you.
Yeah, like once again, congrats, man. You're
Thank you guys. I
kicking
appreciate
ass.
it.
Keep it up. There's a lot of
Yes, sir.
races to go. Just keep competing, and you'll find yourself with a championship in ARCA season 2.
Yes, sir.
Well, another crazy race in the books here. Don't mind the fourth wall break. I have no control over everything, so I appreciate you guys jumping in here because I'd have been screwed if it wasn't for you guys tonight. But of course, you've seen it again. Tristan Pena taking the win here tonight with Dalton Gibson in his first appearance here, finishing in second, and DJ Norris rounding out the field in your top three. One hell of a race, guys. A lot of cautions early on, and of course, first race with no fast repair, and it showed the difference.
Yeah, I would agree. It definitely kind of cleared things up for the second half of that race. We were able to have a long green flag run there in the second half, so definitely made it interesting and exciting. Appreciate you, Tyler, for having me. It was a great time, bud.
Yeah, I agree. That race. It was. I kind of figured it would. After everybody got a little more spread out and a lot of the slower pace cars were off the track, I figured it would. We'd have a lot more green laps, and we did. We did have that last caution, but before then we had plenty of green. So it did tighten up a little bit, which was nice. And yeah, it was like once again, it was a fun race to watch.
Fun race to watch, but probably not a fun race to drive for those who were out early on. And I mean, of course, it was a hell of a difficult night. Moving forward to next week, though, where we go to Pocono, and that's going to be another difficult track. It's going to be 2.5 miles, 4 minutes of pacing. So the big goal there is to not wreck because you're wasting 4 minutes of valuable time under caution. Of course, before we get there, though, we've got to go to the Truck Series. That being tomorrow. And then, of course, on Fridays, the Truck Series and Saturdays for the Cup Series, and then back Monday for the American Stock Car Racing League, where we take on the last 2 weeks before we start the playoffs there. It has been an incredible night. And of course, on behalf of the Asphalt Racing Network and the Right Time ARCA Series, sponsored by T. Elliot, we would like to thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us. Of course, big shout out to Blake for jumping back in the booth again, and Mickey for being here as always.
Hey, love it, man. I look forward to Wednesday every week. Can't wait to get to the track tomorrow. So, again, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, same here, Tyler. We like I also appreciate it. You know, it's very fun. You get out of the car and watching. You know, from the booth. Unfortunately, I to be honest, I didn't want to be in the booth tonight. I wanted to continue racing. You know, but that's just a part of it, man. You know, it's just the fun part of iRacing. You just never know what's going to happen. That's what keeps people coming back to it every week. But yeah, once again, I appreciate it. Hopefully tomorrow we have a better finish, and it'll be good to see Mickey on the track tomorrow as well. After this will be his first race back as a granddaddy too, so looking forward to that.
Well, of course, guys, once again, thank you for everything you do for us on and off the track, and definitely up here in the booth. We look forward to hopefully seeing you finish your race next week, Blake, and we definitely hope to see you possibly in Victory Lane at Pocono. But of course, everybody, our night is going to have to come to an end. So until next time, hopefully you'll catch us here tomorrow for Right Time Truck Series. But if not, we'll catch you back next Wednesday. We hope you all have a good one, and thank you for tuning in.
Good night, everybody.
Deuces.